Hey, media, let me help you out here. I know you're going out there and you're searching. You're desperately searching. You're trying to be the quote-unquote journalist to uncover that moment when I, L. Rushbo, long ago said Obama's a Muslim. The closest you're going to come is June 11, 2008, when I quoted Muammar Gaddafi when he said that Obama is a Muslim. Muammar Gaddafi, June 11, 2008. There are elections in America now. Along came a black citizen of Kenyan African origins, a Muslim, who had studied in an Islamic school in Indonesia. His name is Obama. All the people in the Arab and Islamic world and in Africa applauded this man. They welcomed him, and they prayed for him and for his success. And they may have even been involved in legitimate contribution campaigns to enable him to win the American presidency. Muammar Gaddafi, September 9th, 2008. Obama's Muslim faith slip bolstered by Gaddafi. And we highlighted it at rushlimbaugh.com. That's the closest I've ever come, quoting Gaddafi. There is a new standard in our country for determining if somebody is something. Well, there are many standards, but one of the latest standards is United States Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald. The real question here, determining whether or not Barack Obama is Christian, is to ask this. Does United States Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald have enough evidence to indict Obama for being a Christian? Fitzgerald's definition of evidence seems to be evolving. And so that would be one way that we might direct the media. Just ask Pat Fitzgerald, if you were going to indict Obama for being a Christian, do you have enough evidence to do so? Now let's go back to Bill Burton's statement. By the way, it's a gaggle. There is no audio of this. But he was asked a question yesterday by the media, and he said, Bill Burton, a White House spokesman, and so the president is obviously a Christian. He prays every day. He communicates with his religious advisor every single day. There's a group of pastors that he takes counsel from on a regular basis. And his faith is very important to him, but it's not something that is a topic of conversation every single day. Okay, let's break this down. Because this answer, while intending to be thorough and end of story, is evasive. Very clever and very artful, but Burton's answer is evasive. The fact that Obama prays every day does not make him a Christian. Jews, Muslims, every other religious practitioner prays every day. Some of them multiple times a day. Some of them have calls to prayer which are so beautiful that Obama thinks that they're the prettiest sounds in the world. Then Burton said Obama communicates with his religious advisor every day. Well, so do religious people of all faiths. What's a religious advisor? Dawn, you have a religious advisor? Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, you got a pastor. We all have a pastor, a priest, a rabbi. We've all got religious advisors. So Obama communicates with his religious advisor every day. So what? Big deal. He's making his Christianity sound like it's a policy thing. And he has to have a meeting every day with his Christian policy advisors. And if it is that, if he is having policy meetings with his Christian advisors every day, he needs to replace them because they're giving him bad advice. Because this is the weakest answer to try to dispel a ridiculous problem. You know, what's fascinating about this is not what Burton says. It's not all these polls. It's the fact that we're asking the question about the President of the United States. There are actually polls. Who's doing the poll? Why, it ain't us. The poll is being done by the partisan political operatives known as journalists. Is Obama a Muslim? Do you think he's a Christian? We're asking this about the President of the United States. And then Burton says there's a group of pastors he takes counsel from on a regular basis. Well, so do people of all religions. Take counsel from their pastors. Most people get by with one, maybe two, but Obama here has a lot of them. A group of pastors. And then Burton said his faith is very important to him. Yeah. Bin Laden's faith is not important to him. Billy Graham's faith wasn't particularly important to him. Pope Benedict, his faith's not very important to him. What is this? Obama's faith is very important. We're supposed to be dazzled by this. We are supposed to be mesmerized. We are supposed to be persuaded, convinced. Wow, who knew? Obama's faith is very important to him. Faith is important to millions of Muslims, Jews, Hindus, terrorists, Buddhists, atheists. Atheism's a faith. Very important to those people. Obama's mother was an atheist. But none of it relates to the question of Obama's Christianity. Zip, zero, nada. This didn't cut it. Then Burton calls Obama's Christianity obvious. Well, isn't that the point, ladies and gentlemen? It isn't obvious if we're polling it. Let me correct myself. It isn't obvious if Obama's own media is polling it. Bill Clinton's Christianity was obvious. Clinton was in every black church he could find. Clinton was out there claiming to be the first black president in a spiritual sense. George W. Bush's Christianity was obvious. He talked about it. He talked about it in ways that defined him as a person. Clinton did too. Clinton was also very obvious about it because every time there was a sex scandal, we had him standing in front of the Reverend Jackson and others, religious advisors. And they were having prayer meetings and they were holding hands and so. It was obvious that Clinton was a Christian. It was obvious that George W. Bush was a Christian. It was obvious that FDR was a Christian. So obvious that nobody ever asked. No one even thought to ask, is Bush a Christian? In fact, when they talked about Bush being a Christian, it was to criticize him. We had stories and articles. Here's Bush's faith guiding policy. When Bush talked about the desire of every human being to be free, that's part of our creation. Remember how they cringed. The same media that now apparently so love and respect Christianity that they are damn well convinced that Obama is one, and they are damn well persuaded that we are going to believe it. But Bush's Christianity, they didn't like it. They don't like NASCAR Christianity. They don't like Christianity talks about pro-life. They hate it. The ruling class doesn't want to get anywhere near it. Now, all of a sudden, it is crucial that we understand Obama's a Christian because it's important to him. But we didn't have to ask it about FDR. We didn't have to ask it about Clinton. We didn't have to ask it about George W. Bush.